Hey, ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought the Gauntlet casts were over, Neblime and I are back to do some more of them. This time we're not actually jumping into the qualifications just yet, but Gauntlet B has begun. And first up here, we have none other than Benno's Protoss going up against the newcomer, TopRamen's Terran. What are your predictions today, sir? What do you reckon we're about to get into?
How can I possibly predict, man? TopRamen, has he even been playing Cosmonica for a week? Like, how long has he been here?
That's right,
When
yeah.
we're casting this, that is. We're casting this on the 7th of April, my time at least, so who knows when this will go up, but he hasn't been around for long at this point. But this is the rite of passage, right?
Yeah.
My very first games were against Benno as well.
Fair enough.
Not the Gauntlet, it was the group stage back then.
Yes, we didn't have a Gauntlet back then. We didn't have enough players, but now we do, Neblime. Now we do.
Yeah,
so to answer your question more explicitly, he joined the server on the 26th of March, so he's been here for less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
And playing for maybe less than that, yeah.
He's already causing a stir. He's shown some very strong games. Very scary player already. And he's only in his second week? What's it going to be like when he's been here for like 2 months? We're doomed.
I know. That's what people are saying. The trajectory looking nice, you know.
Benno has a chance to stop him in his tracks here. Look, we're not going to cast all of Gauntlet B, are we?
No, probably just this and the qualifiers, maybe some other highlight matches here and there.
So I can't lie to the people. I requested to do this because I want to see TopRamen. You know, so here we are. We're going to give him a showcase. Maybe Benno can nip him in the bud. Benno has enough experience at this point, and he's not looked too bad in Gauntlet A. He looked pretty strong. He's definitely a player, when I look at this Gauntlet B we have, might be one of the ones who makes it through, you know?
Yeah, that's right. We only have 2 slots left in battlements, so we're trying to wrap this one up nice and quick so we can get all the players in, get everybody into the hype video nice and early, all that stuff. So let's get started on Axiom. This has been the map that TopRamen picked to start actually Benno in the bottom left and TopRamen in the top right. Despite TopRamen having a stir, I had to give Benno the benefit of the doubt in the context of the seeding. He is seeded as third in the tournament and TopRamen seeded 6th. So that put them up against each other. That's why it says match number 3 on the overlay, because chronologically speaking, even though this was played first out of all of the matches, it was, you know, in terms of the Gauntlet layout or whatever, the actual match layout, this is that match in that tournament. You know, scheduling is king for these. Now, TopRamen going for gas early on speaks to me that he's going to go Fulcrum first here, whereas Benno has been known for just his opening, 2-gate situation. He did scout off of the pylon, so I guess he'll have a pretty good idea of what TopRamen's doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got the Stockade in the quarry, actually, which, in my opinion, is actually stronger. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
He's looking good. Oh, perfect.
This is how you would play Terran? What do you think?
You know I'm going to Stockade every game. It's locked in already, man. If I play Terran, don't worry about it. But I got to root for Benno, though, because, he's the one who sort of got me into Cosmonica and all that stuff.
That's right.
I always love him. He coined the sort of Benno style with the Mass Maverick, and now he does it with Drakadin somehow. So
I don't know how he manages that. They're so much more expensive, but
Yeah, right? That's the skills he has. Now, let's talk about the picks and bans. Well, not much going on. There's that quarry as expected. I expect a second gateway will probably come down for Benno or a Nexus, so nothing too exciting going to happen. So, first ban from TopRamen was Fata Morgana. Excellent choice when you're new to this, because I've sort of said the same thing in every pick ban, I suppose. I don't have anything original to say, but if you're feeling like you're mechanically strong, but you don't know what's going on as well, ban those small maps, right? So, excellent choice. Then we had Titanforge banned by TopRamen as well. Same reasons. I would say it's a very good choice to ban. We saw even Newt struggling a lot on that map because he wasn't as familiar with how to play it. I'm talking about versus who was it? Versus Veek, was it? Right, he had that game. Where that map, you really have to come in with a map specific plan because the map warps things so much. So I think again, an excellent choice. Benno had banned Sideshow, which I'm intrigued by because I would have said it's quite good for Protoss against Terran being so big. Now look at this, by the way, interrupting my spiel there. TopRamen already scouting out, possibly for that proxy lattice, which I have seen Benno do before.
Interesting, okay. Well, Benno was scouting around the same thing. Is there an anchor floating into my base? I think he had kind of similar thoughts here. So definitely curious. Both of our players are being hyper vigilant about what could happen in the early stages of the game. But hey, the quarry's operational. We will have that worker count start to catch up for our Terran player. And it's always heartwarming to see more Terrans, man. I'm telling you, we were at a drought of Terrans. In fact, since everybody changed the race, there were no Terrans returning in the pre-qualified players to that battlement stage, skipping the Gauntlet. So we had Nuke qualify, I'm kind of hoping TopRamen does too, because otherwise we're going to have one turn in the whole tournament. Come on, man. We can't.
Well, this ruins my plans, because the plan was, everyone would come crawling, begging to me. They're like, oh, please, Neblime, go back to Terra. No one else can do it but you. But that is already, like, completely blown out of the water. Because, as I was saying, this guy causing a lot of the stir. He's looking very strong. You can see by his APM, he's going pretty hard here. Now,
yeah.
So far, not much happened in this game. But Benno going pretty conservative, as he usually does, just getting those Dracodons, that Nexus. And, it's pretty much impossible for Terran to bust Dracodons with Bio here, unless you do stuff like dropping Hurricanes or something crazy like that.
Who would do that?
Who
would do that?
Kind of madman. I mean, you don't want to do that, because then you'll attract the ire of the devs, and they'll nerf the strategies to the ground.
Well, we do have a single Cyprian out, which is an interesting choice. TopRamen going the Bio route versus Protoss. I like that after, we were talking about this before starting this cast, is that apparently TopRamen had been practicing a little bit against Shambler's Protoss. And it's curious, because he was practicing against that, and he kept going Bio or something like that. I guess there was probably a couple mech games here and there. But he said that I think the answer is Bio, even after losing a bunch of times. So, he has faith in Bio, faith that has not yet been shaken the way that Newt and Shambler have been. So... Curious.
I look. I like the Cyprian against Dracodons, by the way. I think because it has the range basically, but you can't be coming across the map like this. This is really just asking for trouble. I think Ramen needs to go home. If Benno comes out and attacks, I think he can easily whittle this down, because the Dracodons will just kite the Mavericks for days. He needs to get out of here, man. It could be a short game. If Benno gets aggressive and just wipes that army, he could come across and cause a lot of trouble here. But so far, Benno's intimidated.
Yeah, I'm noticing a pretty heavy worker transfer as well, a little bit more so than is necessary. A witness is already out, but there's no mines to detect, so it's just going to be flying across the map to reveal the enemy's tech level. And yeah, you're right. Benno seems like he's going to stretch his legs now, but TopRamen already starting in the evacuation process. It looks like he'll be getting out scot-free from his more aggressive posturing.
Well, let's see. He's going to get caught up to you. The Cyprian is not making it back, man. He was never making it home.
Needs the escort. Get down, Mr. President. The Zealot's curious.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to try to turn on it. It looks like the Cyprian will get away. Look at that. We're back to the same curse that happened on Fata Morgana, man, to decide Taco Cake versus Jackie Langsky's best of 5. Anytime Neblime would have said something, the opposite would end up happening. So.
Please tell me that's not going to happen now, man. I was so sure, too. I like the Hurricanes, by the way. The problem is, Terran is going to have a really hard time actually engaging and forcing engagement. Benno's decided not to be too aggressive, but also if Ramen starts being aggressive, Benno's going to have an easy time to sort of denying him. Well, here we go. He's going in for the attack. The Hurricane's not here yet.
And this is what you need to do as the Protoss, right? You need to disengage while the stim is running, and then you can turn back and fight afterwards. But during that time, TopRamen was capable of pushing forward a lot more than maybe Benno was comfortable with. His Zealots seem to have evacuated the premises. They went all the way back home. I'm not sure why that's happening, because they are a critical piece to the puzzle. Third gate coming down. You do need that melee just to occupy the time of the Bio for a little bit so that your Dracodons can get good snipes in. And look at this, Starpad Fulcrum at the same time. We're factoring in a couple of extra little options here. And looks like a third expansion will be on the mines of TopRamen. He's spending all of his money kind of at the same time.
Yeah, dude, he's coming out hard here. But an Envoy is on the way, and a Cantor drop in the main or just versus the army could be huge here. Of course, that Ardent. Look, man, I don't even have to say anything about what Benno's going to make, because I already know. He's always going to go for those Cantors. He's probably going to go for Monument later. It's pretty transparent, which is a weakness of Benno, I will say, but that's not to say he's bad at what he does. Now, we were talking about the engagements and how Ramen can't really attack in here, but he is getting value by holding his opponent at arm's length. He's very safe to expand. He hasn't had to make any anchors or anything like that, and he can sort of keep the pressure on.
Well, hold on. If he takes a good engagement here, I mean, the Hurricanes are all the way in the back line, and the Clerics are snipeable in this situation, so that's a little bit awkward. But I was going to say, you could probably start whittling down this Dracodon force if you can get your Hurricanes in the right spot. And the problem is, okay, he's filling out a little bit more. I guess he only has the 2 Hurricanes. That's probably the main thing that's holding him back here. Definitely wants a little bit more than that. Oh, look at this. Little watchdog scout here. He's up to the meta, man. He's figuring things out.
Yeah, for sure. He's like I said, he learns fast, man. This is crazy. Now, what is he going to make? Is he make Madrigals?
Oh, yeah, that's curious. Right now, he's a Phalanx. He wants to go ahead and siege. He's getting double Anseal as well, so that's going to be a pretty big gas expenditure. But he can use that to snipe out the Witness, so he's realized that he needs detection to deal with that.
Look, in my opinion, the Phalanx actually might be better to drop than the Magical now anyway, if he's going to drop, but obviously not making any Trojans yet. I was just wondering, since he made the Starpad and the Fulcrum at the same time, he was going to drop. Ooh, that's a pick. That's very nice.
Yeah, 75 gas down the drain.
You got to give props to Benno. Not many Class 2s are good at using the witnesses to see the army movement and stuff like that. That's very important.
Yeah, that was something General
unfortunately
Anakin was doing really well versus 3 Crow, so he's like the other one that kind of stands out to me in that way. Unfortunately, he did not qualify to battlements out of Gauntlet A, so turns out
I'd say about General Anakin, he had like the first half of the equation. He knew where the enemy army was, but he did not react accordingly.
I'm really surprised that Mason gets as deep as it does, but it does scout out some more army. This is a cliff disadvantage. Benno wants to get out of here. Okay, looks like he'll be just fine. His units,
the armies are such that with cliff advantage, there's no question Ramen will absolutely dominate. Even without cliff advantage, it's getting kind of scary. With no AoE yet, the Akantor not ready. Can he actually even engage him? You do need to run for those cells. They will take a lot of fabric time.
That's right.
Look at those.
Okay, the Akantor's been dropped. It is going to be able to deal some damage. The Hurakan trying its best to stand tall. There's only one of them. Now it's starting to burn a little bit of the armor for the structures. The Ant Seals were good for the general approach, but it doesn't look like much else is here. I mean, these Akantor shots are going to start to be deadly unless you really play some dodgeball here.
Half the units are attacking the Nexus, unfortunately.
I know, yeah.
Phalanx is here, but now most of the army's dead. Man, if he waited for that Phalanx, or for Cantor's shot as well, if he waited for that Phalanx and still had the entire army, this would be much more threatening. But as it is, all he can do is trade. It's not a very good trade, I don't think.
No, yeah, and if the Nexus had a Hurakan burning it down, you could have actually gone for the half attack the army, half attack the Nexus, killed the Nexus, then you're fine. But even still, I mean, there's no actual worker count here for Benno. So even though he's got more workers than his opponent, you know, most of it isn't actually on that third base, so the better saturation for TopRamen, and he's got tier 2 started. Architect coming along. We need to see Benno use the drops. I was practicing some PvP against him ahead of his matches against 3 Crow and such, and that was definitely something that I used against him that I guess the other players often don't, but a little bit awkward here, losing the Witness, just waypointing directly into the Ant Seals. Good production from TopRamen, I gotta say.
I guess it doesn't really matter if you have shredding or not with that many Mavericks. They just have the DPS, but the Draconans are going to overwhelm them.
Yeah, he needs to fall back towards the Phalanxes. He wants to try to dive onto the Envoy, but good idea. Needs more of the Mavericks for it to happen.
And you don't want to be trading off these Ant Seals like that. You want to keep them alive, but they are getting good damage here. Well, not damage. They're taking good damage, allowing him to hold off. But I do like Benno's position more. There's tier 2 on the way for Terran, but Architect's coming out now. And look how many gateways. Benno done a great job scaling up his production, and, you know, typically I'd say he struggles a bit with that. Wow, he landed it. Imagine if an Envoy comes out and dies to that.
I know, yeah. Has it dealt any damage? Not yet. Okay, curious.
It's just sitting there. Like
I know, yeah, and the waypoint is ignoring it too, right? So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, so the Architects can get good value against Bio if you build up a high number of them, right? In small numbers, it's not going to matter that much. The Acantors, if you have even one, is enormous, obviously. But, you know, I think Benno has the initiative now. Ramen sort of forced back here, but he's continuing to expand. His macro is very strong here. I did see him go up over 1,000 minerals, so I'm relieved that he does have some weaknesses.
His opponent is at 2K, though, and we've got 3 captaincies on the way. I'm not looking too hot for Benno in this situation. He needs to spend that float.
You know, the Architects can help us that, but the front line of Draken and Zealot will not last 3 seconds against Madcaps.
Well, there's some Wardens being set up, but that's not going to help you versus the Phalanxes. We'll stuff the infantry if you want to try to play around the static defense. Maybe try to snipe it out. It's so funny that we're seeing Bio with tank as like the go-to here for TopRamen, because it's something I've theorized for a long time would absolutely work very well, but nobody's really been able to do it. Another Witness might get caught here, looks likely.
Oh, no.
Just zoned away. Just zoned away. Okay.
Benno needs to try and put these sort of more to the side so you can just get little glimpses, sort of like borrowed units even. You just any little intel you can get is enormous.
If he knew that 12 o'clock was being taken right now, he could probably send off like a couple Zealots, just pinch them off of your main force and send it off. I say a couple Zealots, he's only got 1, so...
Needs a friend.
That's right.
I do appreciate that Benno's trying to get that intel, though. I mean, I'd rather he try and lose the Witness than be sitting at home with nothing. Now, here we go. Big engage coming in. The Ant Seals, we don't want to lose those. I mean, they're just tanking a lot of damage, though. We lose this one.
They are, yeah. There's another one on the way. I do think that's an opportunity for TopRamen to try to spruce up his micro a little bit. But yeah, okay. The Akantor is going to go ahead and get loaded away before the mortar can hit it. But the Draconans are falling, man. There's not really that much here. The Clerics in such a number, because once you chew through all of the bio, right, the Clerics can still heal the Phalanxes afterwards. So this is still looking pretty good for TopRamen. Architect down. Draconan's down.
That's pretty good Akantor micro, I have to say, from Benno, though. Some really good shots came in there. So I don't know. 50-50 on who I like here. I mean, I guess he still has the Ant Seals and the Phalanx. And I suppose Ramen can... 6. Yeah. Ramen can spam out a lot more Mavericks, a lot more than Benno can spam out Draconans, actually. So yeah, I guess it was good for Terran, but not bad try from Benno.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's still getting a good value out of this Akantor. It's dealt over 2,500 damage at this point.
Get out of there. Yeah, he's done really well with that, by the way. That's kind of crazy. Ooh, this engagement is not at a good angle for Protoss though, and the Madcaps are in position. That's
right.
Getting a shot, but nice dodge actually.
Yeah, he's focusing most of his micro on that, but he has no front line to engage upon the Phalanxes. Remember, what's the weakness of the Phalanx? It deals splash damage to its allies as well. You gotta watch out for that on the Terran side, unless your opponent doesn't make any melee.
You know, I'd love to see a bunch of envoys with zealots or whatever just dropping on top of the Phalanx. Just like Brood War, really. It'd be quite strong, I think. I mean, the Madcaps are decent at dealing with that, but if the whole fight's happening, I think you get good value.
Another thing TopRamen doing here a little bit that I think it would benefit him in the future, although he's got a pretty big gas float right now anyway, is he doesn't actually have any gas capping going on right now. He's sieging pretty far forward. This is an opportunity that Benno could use to just sort of land the Cantor here and then pick it up and let the splash happen, because there's nothing here to really respond to that, but the response is coming, so...
Well, he needs like 2 armies, basically. He needs one to attack from down there and one to attack from the right side, but he only has 1 army, and this looks very formidable. Once the Madcaps are in position, you can't really approach. And look at it, the Phalanx is somehow shooting over to the right. I don't know how they pulled that off.
Oh, I think there was some unit that went over there. Yeah, the army movement over here, but gets dodged. He's going to try to wrap around. I think he's going to try to stab in onto this third base. Trade third base for third base. Oh my god, there's almost more than 40 workers over here. The Phalanx is not in range, thankfully. Gotta watch out, though. A Cantor Architect is a deadly duo when you're trying to stay alive over here.
You can't underestimate how long Benno can delay just with that Cantor, and this counterattack's going to be really hard to stop. I don't think any Sentinels have been made. Yeah, he's going to pull back. You know, if you trade third for third... Oh, okay, no, I was wrong as usual.
It's all right. I'm streaming this to you, so you can blame my observing.
Yeah, right. So it looks like he's not going to go for the counterattack, which I think is a mistake. Ooh, he's that Architect too. I think he needed to just go all out and take out that third, otherwise he's just behind here.
Well, he will be able to clean up the ant seals at the very least. That's a mistake. Unforced error from TopRamen as he goes back home.
He can sort of kite this, I think. The Architects with the long-range damage. He can force siege and unsiege, picking up a good amount of that bio. Does not want to commit to the engagement, though. This is the mistake. Okay, does pull back.
Yeah, but he's kind of locked in between that and the Sentinels, right? So he can't... Yeah. He's going to get pushed back. He sees an opportunity to exit over towards the 3 o'clock location. I'm not sure that he's actually going to take it, though. And his units are on just a right-click, so this is working out a little bit poorly for him. I think he'll be okay.
To get that Architect out. They're so expensive, man. You can't be losing those. Like I was saying, if you build up a high number of them, they can be deadly versus fire, but he's not been able to.
Yep.
But when they're going in close range, what are they doing? He's targeting the Phalanxes.
No. He's trying to pick off the Phalanx line in the back there, but again, he lost most of his melee versus the Madcaps versus the bio. One more shot on that Architect would do it, but it's not okay. TopRamen doesn't see the opportunity yet. He's going to fall back instead.
Madcap is not the kind of unit you run past. You run away from Madcap.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you can run towards them with melee specifically so that you can try to defeat... Oh, look, I keep wondering what these minimap pings are. It's this watchdog that's shot 1 or 2 times at an envoy rallied out.
Nice. Wow, look at it go.
So
it's going to be another whole game, isn't it? Imagine if he makes the monument just right next to it.
I know.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, he's got some zealots idled over here. He could aim them.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Does he not see it?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
That's incredible.
Okay, the question is, does Ramen know what that does?
Yes,
I feel like he might, but he might not. It could be critical. I mean, his army even is very susceptible to being
overwhelmed by that, yeah. Well, he's got the. I guess he's got the Azazel. He could try to like dematrixing Madcaps so that they stay alive long enough to kill it. But
I mean, if they get close, they'll kill it. But the thing is, the Starsov can abuse dead ground and get the glassings off sometimes. Oh man, this is very threatening for Benno here. He's going to try and come up the ramp, and he's catching part of the army. But I don't think this engagement is going to go his way. A lot more zealots available this time.
That's good. Yeah, he's made that that option. He's got double a Cantor drop. He's looking for an opportunity, but he needs to scoop them up after.
Yeah, really nice micro by Benno, though. Getting great shots in there. Needs to bring him around to the other side, I think, because they're going to get picked up by Phalanxes, though. I think he
scooped them up. He scooped them up. They haven't died yet. They're still in there.
They still need to be in the fight, though. The fight's not over, and the Architect's getting picked off. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if those Cantors were with the fight, then it's a different story. But it looks like Benno will call it GG right there. Didn't have the ability to continue from that position, and TopRamen on the board.
Yeah, Benno doing his damnedest there, but he's already in a tough situation attacking from the right side there. He needed all those minerals to be in like a bunch of golems or zealots or whatever, and be able to attack from 2 sides, I think, is key. Or like I was saying, just drop on top of the phalanxes would be quite good too.
That's right. Well, hey, he's selected Derelict as map number 2, and remember, Germination is left over. Let's see if he can bring us to that decider. Benno in the top right, TopRamen in the bottom left.
All right, then.
All right, then. Now, the question for me is, does TopRamen deviate from that position, or is he just going to continue trying to pivot out? And I feel like, honestly, he did play against the Shambler prior to this match, so that practice might have prepared him. That might have been the little extra bit that he needed to get it across Benno, because that game, you know, it wasn't as much of a statement win as I think maybe we would have expected if TopRamen was going to be this big contender. But hey, he's also brand new, right? So how much more can you say?
I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. I think he did a good job, you know, microing the bio and sort of making what he needed to make. I think, and, you know, just keeping up on bases.
Yeah, Benno's up to something here, I feel like.
Oh, he sure is, isn't he? Is he going to put the lattice? I'm waiting for it. It's a Fulcrum too. And, you know, I think if you're going to put Sims, it's much better against Fulcrum because Cyprian's actually pretty good against dealing with that, but there's nothing that really comes from the factory except Goliaths, and they're a bit expensive for the early game, so it can be a headache. Let's see.
Well, it's either that or he box scouted thinking this was a 4-spawn map, so...
Oh, he thought it was Fata Morgana.
Maybe. Yeah.
I do the opposite every time. I'm on Fata Morgana, I think it's Derelict, and I go down to the corner, I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was something that people did.
Yeah, it'll happen to you, man, if you play on it. You wait.
See about that. Now, Fulcrum almost complete here for TopRamen. So I guess we'll avoid any shenanigans, right? The gateway came up. It was a little bit late, a little bit awkward with the build order. I think the pylon scout does hurt your opener a little bit because it's so far.
And there's not as much benefit
yeah.
compared to Brood War. The thing is, Terran can always be pulling out stuff like Proxy or even like Starpad, so it's not useless, but I agree that I would rather scout a little later, I think.
Yeah, Gateway Scout or in Lattice, if that's what you're going to be doing, is a little bit better. That's why, you know, normally if I see a Pylon Scout, I actually anticipate it's cheese or something, but turns out, you know, you can just be...
corner, so...
Yeah, you can also just end up being something that's going a little bit more conservatively. Now, I'm not sure what TopRamen is thinking over here. He's looking around. He's suspicious himself a little bit, I think, but he's got his Vulture out. It's the classic Vulture quarry. We could see this into an expand. He's got a second Vulture. He's making a third. So, yeah, he's scoping out his whole base. This is taking a little bit of mining time away from him, but he just doesn't trust Benno, you see. He doesn't trust that he's playing fair. I love this attempt at an expansion from Benno, but it is going to get stymied for now. And he does need to spend that money a little bit. Look, Neblime's nemesis, the Cyclops, is in production as we speak. And, ooh, you just stunned the Nexus. How do you feel? Stunned does actually work that way, by the way. Pretty legit. I do not still hear you, Neblime, sir.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
I don't know what's happening there. Bit of a problem with network, I'm guessing.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I was just acting like nothing wrong was happening whatsoever and just carrying on, but...
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
There won't be like a quiet part in the cast there. That's perfect. But I'm back to see these vultures run to their deaths.
That's right.
Very
You missed a mine detonating on a Nexus as it was going down, and the Nexus got stunned. Can you believe that? Well, actually, it only got slowed, but it doesn't really matter. Now, unfortunately for Benno, he is losing a little bit of hull damage over here, which could be consequential later on in the game, because there is, of course, your nemesis, the Cyclops.
Yes. This is much more unfortunate for Ramen, though. He's lost so many units, they've got nothing to show for it. I keep telling people with these vultures, you have to use them defensively. I mean, yes, try and like run across and zone around there, but unless you're going to go hard out, like two Fulcrum Vulture from the start, I don't think you want to attack in like this. You just got to use the mines to get opportunities to pick off units on your side of the map. And now he's got his expansion pretty late. Benno has this nice Force of Dracons coming up. Embassy even. I mean, this is looking pretty rough for TopRamen here.
You say that, but counterpoint, it's Benno. He doesn't ever attack.
True.
Now, the Goliath's also coming online here with the Stockade. This is going to be a Vestry add-on. We're going to see that Goliath Cleric comp.
Yeah, I like it. I do think it'd be better. I can't believe I'm saying this. Just if he got some more Cyclops first. Because those Goliaths are a bit expensive. You have to build up quite a number of them to be effective. You know, I think he's not quite in the point in the game where he would want to go into Goliath. But if Benno doesn't attack, it'll be fine.
It wasn't picking up on Discord, but I promise you that when you watch this cast back, you'll hear me laughing quietly while you talked about Cyclops. Well, there was a lot more than you heard, I promise. But anyway,
oh my god,
the treasury has landed. The again, a very aggressive pull, but I guess so far he actually has the perfect amount. This time it makes sense. The first time on Axiom there, that was no bueno. He transferred a few too many, but the second time around, looking good on the pull. That just shows you how many workers he's made, right? He's up by 5 right now.
I mean, no shade on Benno here. I think he's done a good job producing. It's just hard for Protoss because the embassy is a bit expensive. You got to take time to get up to that.
Yeah, you also have to make the witness and the envoy if you're going to make it and stuff like that.
So they're pretty close in workers. I think Benno doing a pretty good job macro-wise so far. Witness coming across. I would like to see Benno take space on the map. Okay, if he's not going to attack, I've accepted that Benno will never attack until he has the Star Sovereign, but he needs to control those high ground. If you get those Goliath Cleric close to your base in the choky areas, it's a nightmare.
Now, I wonder why he's gone for the Envoy prior to making the Ardent. So it's going to finish, and the Ardent's not even halfway done. So does that mean he's planning on a bit of like a Zealot bomb? He is hovering right over this mine, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, very unlucky.
I'm not sure if that TopRamen has noticed it, but, you know.
It's actually surprisingly effective against this comp because the Cyclops won't be splashing your army, they'll be splashing just around themselves. Not that they do friendly fire, it's just that it won't be doing much to you.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, a Zealot bomb could work on the army as a drop in the base. Remember, you can fit a lot of them in there, so... Although they did recently get... actually, no, that's not true anymore. Now they're 3 transport space costs, so...
That makes it a bit hard. It's 10 for the Envoy, though, isn't it? So
yeah, it is. You can fit 3, but you used to be able to fit 5, and that was just too many.
You know, it's surprising. Even dropping Quaslists on Cyclops makes them so much less effective. And there aren't that many clerics here, right? There's only one with the army, is there? Oh, he's going in.
He is indeed going in. There's 3 of them right now, and that is going to be a little bit spooky. Playing around this mine that he left at the beginning of the game, and it's going to stun 4 Zealots. Oh my goodness, the Cyclops will get a little bit more efficacy, but hey, they were targeting units that were right on top of the Clerics and the Vulture, so that's not actually going to be as disastrous as we initially thought, but as the Zealots start to fall, and as it thins out, he's doing a good job of sniping the Clerics. Unfortunately, there is still one of them left.
Yeah, he can whittle this down, I think, but how much damage will he take?
Yes, in the meantime.
Probably a lot.
Yep.
Okay, he does pull them. Nice pull there.
A Cantor nearly done,
Cantor's
so...
about to be out.
Yeah, that'll
we're saying the same thing.
No, it's the right thing to focus on, especially with one of those Cyclopses. The last remaining of Neblime's nemesis is going to fall.
Well, I tell you, man, if not for that mine, they would have been useless. I don't know. They did pretty well there. I was going to say that Benno kind of played into his hands. I was saying Ramen should make more Cyclops for Goliath, and he actually did. And Benno made a lot more Zealots and less Dracodons, so actually Cyclops were a perfect unit there. I did not think that was in range. My gosh.
Well, you know, it's even better than that. TopRamen suddenly, somehow, had the wherewithal to immediately tab back over here and take care of business, because he was macroing back at home. So he doesn't lose anything.
You know, watching the Nexus being shot, just his face close to the screen, like, yeah, died, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I do feel like, you know, I spectate some of the newer players or just generally like the worst players at the general, like, global RTS thing, and then they just sit there and they watch their army and they kind of get animated, like, yeah, shoot him, yeah. It's like when my little brother was playing for the first time.
Man, this is still quite dicey for Benno here. Only 2 Dracons still. Where's the production? Does not want to lose that Envoy.
He's only making 1 Architect. He's completely slipped on the macro. He's got so much money. Back at home, he hasn't really made hardly anything. He does have the 2 Zealots. Remember, the Envoy can take a lot of damage here, but so far the Acantor is totally unharmed.
Yeah, the Acantor can do a lot. One single Acantor is kind of almost enough here, and he can take a few shots. But the healing, though, is getting kind of out of control. Dracons doing their best. We'll pick that up. You don't want to lose that. Okay, nice.
Architect
is
out.
If there's one thing Benno never slips on, it's picking up those Acantors. He's really good at that.
Yeah, I have noticed that. It's hard to say when both of our players right now have 1,000 in the bank, but it's a lot worse for Benno, who's being pushed upon, right?
Well, I mean, he has less workers, so he has less of an excuse, right? Ooh. Gets that Cleric. Yeah, and the Architect here to combo with the Acantor actually is really strong, because if you want to run in with it, the Acantor will shred you. So he's finally got the units he needs to hold on. Worker's not too far behind, but Ramen here is going up to their base.
Yeah, that's the main story.
Cyclops. Look, this isn't even me anymore, I swear to God. Making Cyclops at this point in the game is just a mistake, because they will get absolutely decimated by Architect and Acantor both.
I think what the value they provide this point in the game is a nice juicy drop, because you can fit so many of them in one Trojan.
Definitely, but Ramen doesn't seem like a drop kind of guy from what we've seen.
That's right.
Getting that star part now, but I think he's just going to go for the Ant Seals. I have to say, the games I played against him, he did get like 8 Ant Seals or something, which was very hard to deal with.
That's right. Yeah, he did make a lot of them in the Axiom game as well. Now the Acantor's going to head up here. It will find this 9 o'clock location here. The Witness already spotting.
Yeah, very nice scout there. Again, Benno doing a great job keeping that vision, and now he will have his revenge. You kill my scribes, I kill your masons.
He's thinking about diving in and out. It looks like he will finally drop it off here. Ooh, instant
right at the very edge, though. He could have gone in a lot deeper.
Oh, look at this. Get down, Mr. Cyclops. No, I thought the Masons were going to clear that, but I guess not. Look at that. Survive.
Cyclops?
No, survives with 6 health. Can you believe that?
Is that because of brute splash damage, or is that just it's
no, it just deals 80 damage. So. And they have 1 armor, so they take...
Still, nice little pick off there, restoring the worker balance a little bit. Does need to get that 3rd base up, because Ramen's going to go up to a 4th one. I didn't see if Ramen got another quarry. He could definitely shoot ahead in workers here if he did.
Yeah, quarry.
He did.
And of course, quarry.
I guess there's the embassy still. I mean, he could still make more scribes if he wants to. They are pretty on par, actually.
Yeah, exactly right now, and that number will continue to oscillate a little bit, but it looks like we're in the right neck of the woods, although 14 of them not on.
You got to use them, right? Yeah, that's the problem.
And the main thing is he's way oversaturated in the one spot, right? So
I like putting the Cantor there, just like Broodwar. You wait till they run up and then fly away, like, take that.
Yeah, and you need to have that little unload, because then the envoy can just get sniped otherwise. That's what we've seen.
Yeah.
Goliath's no stranger to that.
Really key witness movement here, making sure Ramen doesn't go through the bottom half. Oh, he actually stopped. Okay, just shadowing the army. Benno's definitely looking at this over here. Oh, he's bringing the army. Yeah, you don't want to go up here, man. This is going to be a disaster if he tries that. Huge architect hit. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's multiples there, so...
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
and he drops down the logo with the Cantor and loses the envoy, though. Is he going to get those phalanx? He gets one of them. Looks like that one's going to go down for sure. May cost him as a Cantor, but it was totally worth it.
I think so, yeah. The Dragonins should be able to hold over here. I mean, there's some clerics, but I think they're a little bit split, and the Goliaths are being inevitably focused down, so... Look at that. Plenty of vision as well with the Witness. Oh, it'll finally die, thanks to the Ant Seal presence. And now I guess he could try to fight with this.
Maybe Architects.
I know. Yeah. With the Ant Seal here...
Even just the 2 Draconins is kind of enough to stop him running up here.
Right. He's got more reinforcements here. Zealots as well. That's going to be big. So what's he doing back at home? He's got the Phalanxes, Cyclops, Goliaths. Okay.
Going hard on Phalanxes, you know, they're not really a counter to Architects. It's kind of like a 1-to-1 fight almost, it feels like sometimes. The Architects especially, since they can move and the Phalanx can't, can actually sort of pick off Phalanxes at the edges. So I don't think it's actually a good choice to get Architect at all. I mean, you know what I prefer to do against Architects, but I should probably leave that alone. So what might be good here is to get a bunch of Starports and Gorgons, because they are very, very good. Does he have tier 2?
No, not yet, actually.
Oh,
he's been thinking
that does make it tough.
Yeah,
that does make it tough. But even then, I wonder if you're better off getting like a lot of close range units just trying to rush in, because the Architects do almost nothing when you're right next to them.
He's just now started it for a record, so
okay. Well, this does give Benno a window here, and he's building up the Architect count. If he gets up to like 8 Architects, it's going to be very hard for Ramen to engage here.
I do like that both of our players are heading towards 100 workers here at 12 minutes, and this is as Tier 2 has just now gone down here. TopRamen making a Trojan, so let's see what he can do, but 5th base on the way.
Perfect. All right, well then I can say the best thing to do would be, of course, Huracan drop the Architects.
That's right.
Look at this. It shuts them down so hard, they can't really do anything about it. The only thing you can do is snipe the Trojan, which of course you can do very effectively with Draconins. But I don't know if he knows about Huracans, man. I don't think he knows.
Yeah, yes, he made a couple in that first game, but that was bio, right? That
but he doesn't really know, man. He doesn't really know.
Not yet. No, he'd need to go back and watch Ascension 7.
You don't know what Huracans are until you've dropped like 4 Trojans all over the enemy army. Then you know.
Then you know. All right. Well, I like the Shark. I like the move up over here. The Architect's getting caught. The Zealots are over in the front. So if you can sustain these first couple of blasts and not shy away from the attack, especially with the Ant Seals coming in, but they're not positioned over the army right now. Zealots completely chewing up those initial Phalanxes. That was a bit of a disaster on the mech push. But hey, he's got plenty to... with riposte the Zealots coming in for the main army. And now it's an open question of can he push up. The Clerics are mostly dead. I think Benno will be fine up here on the high ground. He might lose a single Architect.
With the high ground advantage, actually he's going to shred these Phalanxes. As you say, he might lose one more. Probably not.
No, the Unsiege comes out. Yeah.
Disaster for Ramen, unfortunately. I mean, you can see Benno would have benefited a lot from still having that Cantor, but nonetheless, the Zealots were an excellent choice just to push back and get that splash damage going. And buy time for the Architects to do their damage. On that high ground position, they did huge damage. Now look at this.
Yeah, well, 9 o'clock is in danger. It looks like the rest of the army is going to scramble to get over there, but there's not actually that much here. It's mostly Ant Seals right now. The quarry will be focused down. Hey, this does leave this Architect line open because the Masons are the targets right now for the good old Zealots. So let's see what happens on the other side. How good is Ramen's multitasking? He's shift-queued the unload. Double Phalanx, and we do have some Goliath Cleric in there as well. They immediately start sieging up. Meanwhile, on this side of the map, the Ant Seals trying to protect their boys, the Cyprian, the Phalanx. Is it going to be enough? One Architect has gone down. Meanwhile, this force has not actually been dealt with. The Warden's still alive over there.
Both players banked up a huge amount during all these fights as well. Look, man, if he clears the natural and Benno clears the 9, maybe it's sort of an even trade here.
Yeah, well, this one did have a double gas situation, so it's a little bit more of a valuable base there for the tech up, but it's already been completed in that sense.
Well, he still has all these architects, though. I mean, it looks like he's just letting the natural die, but both of them lost a base, but critically, Benno did not lose his key army units. And, like, now as I was saying, he's getting up to the count where it's getting really dangerous for TopRamen, especially with Tier 2 stuff only just coming out. It's only Madcaps, it looks like, right now. A couple Sentinels.
Oh, the ant seal count is getting a little bit scary, though, and that's one thing you have to say is that eventually, just like the architect count, if the ant seal count keeps in even with the architects, it buys you so much time.
I didn't know Architect Splash didn't go through ant seals.
It's not Splash, it's just a multi-target, so...
Oh, right.
All right, well, he scoops up most of the valuable targets here.
No, he's helping Ramen because he's like, okay, I'll go to this other undefended location.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. He's just going to clean house over here. Now, there's no Splash in that army because he's not sieging.
Benno extremely sluggish with the reactions here. Not pulling anything. I don't believe he's even sending the army. It looks like he's not hotkeyed there and just letting everything get gunned down. The damage is continuing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real small force at the end of the day. He could probably have just killed most of it with the scribes themselves.
Man, they're really bad at killing scribes, aren't they?
Yeah. Single target, high weapon cooldown is not going to be enough.
What
now, big transfer pull down to the 6 o'clock.
He finally looks at it. I'm just wondering what he was doing that whole time, to be honest.
Yeah.
And now he's going to go drop and kill the other mineral line, I think, because Benno's just too slow to catch him.
Well,
there are some wardens there.
I don't know. Yeah, this one doesn't look as successful to me, but I think that actually took a lot of steam out of Benno's ship here. Single Zealot is found top left. Remember, 6 o'clock was set up during this time, so as far as the mineral count is concerned, TopRamen's actually exactly where he was before.
Yeah, there you go. And Benno's just being totally gutted by this drop due to lack of response. Okay, finally he's going to get an Arctic up here. That Arctic's actually going to die if he's not careful. Well, that'd be close. The vision actually stopping him from shooting there pretty huge. He picks up, actually. Or did it die? Oh,
no, it died for the split, right? So the Zealots are going to shut down top left. Unfortunately, the Quarry will not self-destruct to kill a bunch of them. That's sad. Rest in peace. 8 ant seals, just like you mentioned.
Oh my god, okay, finally he cleans it up, but he's on 66 workers. He has to try and claw his way back. His army's still strong.
51 of them are in this one location, so he's really only on one base at this point, yeah.
Dude, look at that army. Where did that army even come from? What's the... Oh my god.
TopRamen's macro, it looks impossible. I think Benno's about to capitulate here.
Oh yeah, man. Unless his architects can get in a good position. Where are they? Did they die?
No, they're all over here in the main. Okay,
oh
he's got something.
He's dragged him back. And this is what I was saying about Tier 2 Terran. If you seize those positions on the map, it becomes a nightmare. The architects can probably push this back.
Yeah,
Cyclops just a dead loss here, of course, as usual.
Well, let's see. The Phalanxes are going to go ahead and deploy. And I think he's got enough of a stopgap here to prevent the Zealots, as minimal as they are at this point.
Definitely.
The ant seals can protect everything else on the front line. He's actually doing pretty well.
Dude. Those ant seals are insane.
Yeah, think about it. The Huracan's getting on top of the architects. Remember that was your emoji back in the day? That's what you wanted, and then you changed it out for a purifier? Don't know what that unit is.
He lost 3 architects there, dude. And what else does he have coming? There's no monument out this time. He's just trying to make zealots. Other units going to hit the 12 as well. Benno taking over here.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of zealots over here as well as 2 architects. That's a pretty non-trivial force that could have been in the fight this whole time. He's only now found them and recalled them. But remember, there's 46 workers here. Oh, never mind. There's 41 workers here. All right, he's going to transfer them up to 12 o'clock. But look, the zealots are going to move on through over here. Okay, I think with the architects' help, they'll be enough to deal with this. We have more units streaming across the map here for TopRamen.
Quite fortunate for Benno that he had that to stop the 12 from going down. Now he's put all his workers there.
That's right.
Oh, Madcap's getting taken out there. All right, but you still got to deal with that siege position. You cannot play this game with a Terran army in his natural.
1 hell.
Yeah,
how did this? I gotta buff the Cyclops, man.
No.
All right, I think the recommit is going to come in here, and with so many ant seals, it does feel like it's possible to deal with this.
I wonder if he's better off going unsieged and just going in, right?
Right, yeah.
It doesn't have that much healing, though. I really feel like he got shot.
The architects are out of position. There was only the 1 HP zealot, and it's already dead. So with these architects going down, there's really no way that the Protoss force survives here. 12 o'clock is going to get taken out, and that's most of the workers, remember.
Well, it does let the beast out of the cage, though. If you can wipe this army and counterattack, there's still a chance. He's trying to run. I've got to give it to Benno. He's doing a good job not letting these die, but where are they going to go next?
Yeah, they're heading to top left, and there's no base over there to mine.
TopRamen is on the high ground with all those ant seals. My god.
I know. Good luck, man. He was pretty good to get 8. He's actually frozen it at 8. He hasn't gotten any more, which is probably fine because it's... Oh, no, I tell a lie. He's got 3 with the other army, so that's where they went.
We saw an Ancestral, but it never got used. I mean, if he had a Pariah or something, maybe he could have splashed those down, but yeah.
Patriarch.
Man, Tectons would be not bad here. Oh, sorry, did I say Pariah?
Yeah, all good. There's so many units, and a lot of them begin with P, like Protoss.
That's right.
And Purify.
Yeah. Yeah, shut up.
So obviously we do have a pretty big force out here for TopRamen. It is currently in between this army, so like that's a little curious of a
he's
position.
Stuck in a really bad spot though. He can't retreat here.
This is the overcommittal, I think. Oh man,
doing a lot of value there. Great unit to add in at this point in the game. Architect's getting flanked. This is going to be completely melted. The one Architect is going to run home and live with the survivor's guilt here. GG.
Yeah, GG. Okay, TopRamen through the upper match. He will await the winner of, let me find the bracket here, drum roll, the winner of whoever General Anakin faces on the other side of the bracket. So he's still got some
God help
some
whoever
time
that
here.
is.
Yeah, that's right. So it could be either a Zerg or a Protoss, but I would imagine it'll be General Anakin based on form. And we got to say, TopRamen, with a little bit more practice, I think he's going to have it. If the game doesn't end in the early stages due to some knowledge check, his macro is clearly good enough to hang with some people. It's a question of his unit choices, his compositions, but generally I like the moves he was making.
Yeah, you know, Benno, I think, has a lot of inflexibility in this matchup. He doesn't know the full amount of units he can use and other options he could take. Now, not that Ramen knew him well enough to really exploit that, but he did have the composition he needed. But I have to say, even though he lost 2-0, my impression of Benno has actually improved a bit from there. I think he played quite well. Ramen's just really good, man.
Okay, there it is. Interesting. Well, that means that Benno will fall to the lower bracket. He will await whoever loses versus Dead Infested and Grunch, a new Terran. Dead Infested switching to Zerg, by the way. And whoever...
Well, he's infested, he has to.
That's right, that's right. And then whoever General Anakin defeats, or if General Anakin goes down himself, those two will play it out to face Benno. So... he could face one of Biddy B and Ozlix, Dead Infested, Grunge, or General Anakin. Obviously, there's a lot of opportunities still left to play, so we don't exactly know.
He's going to punch all of them in the stomach, take their lunch money. They got nothing on him.
You think so? You think even General Anakin? Because General Anakin...
you can start drawing up the battlements now, dude. He's going in 100%. 100%.
All right, well, it's not a qualification match. There's still plenty more Cos Monarchy to be played here. But I am looking forward to seeing that. Now, if General Anakin makes it through, that would be a nice match for me because he is a lot more aggressive. And especially in the early game, he does know some timing attacks. I think he could do some damage to TopRamen. That match will be a best of 3. And whoever wins that match will go on to the upper qualification. So just to keep you guys appraised of what the schedule is like at this point. And again, like Neblime said at the beginning, we won't be casting every single match here, but if we get wind of a banger, or if if I see like a 3-game set and the replays look sizable, maybe I'll tap on Neblime's shoulder and say, hey, I got something for us. So you never know. And of course, we'll cast the qualification best of 5s here. So yeah, any closing thoughts for either Benno or TopRamen, or our viewers at home?
Don't make that many Cyclops, man.
I think you should make more. But hey, that's just my bias here as the guy who thinks that they're the greatest unit ever. Wouldn't you agree, Neblime?
Well, Pruneria made Cyclops, so don't trust him. It's like he's trying to get his child a job in the Terran army. Like, come on, man.
That's right. Meanwhile, all of these the unemployment that happens, right? You kill. What was that line? You miss all the shots you don't take. You kill all the workers you don't make. So
yeah, that's
Neblime out here trying to solve unemployment with his Mason count, but I think TopRamen was thinking the same thing with the Cyclops. Hey, good work of production for both players. You can say that for sure. And I am looking forward to
really
seeing
nice games.
Yeah,
nice games.
I think even though it was a 2-0, it was. I think Benno did show a little bit of improvement from the first Gauntlet, and otherwise the same sort of level. I do think that he's probably capable of defeating Biddy B Zerg unless something crazy happens there, because I haven't actually seen Biddy B Zerg, so I don't know. In Ozlix or again, whoever he faces, I think he could probably take him to task. The one outlier I'm not sure about is Grunge, because I really don't know if he's improved a lot since the game I casted between him and Art of Turtle. So if that is the matchup that ends up happening, that could be kind of spicy, as it would be another TVP. Benno might end up losing again. But either way, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. I think Benno is probably a lock to move up at least one more round in that lower bracket. And if he wins 2 more series, then he is in the Gauntlet. In the qualification. Yeah. So at that point,
based on his performance in those games, he definitely has a good chance still.
That's right. Yeah, you got to remember that the players who took him out last time were 3 Crow and Taco Cake. Taco Cake's on the other side of the bracket this time around. 3 Crow's already in the Battlements. So based on track record, if TopRamen's going to take him out, well, hey, TopRamen could also qualify through the upper bracket, and then we're back into this situation where somebody has to defeat Benno who has not defeated Benno yet, right? So just keep that in mind, right? You do have 2 lives in this tournament, so Benno's not out yet. And for Top Ramen's sake, I'm hoping that you know what, he might get stress tested again in Protoss if General Anakin makes it through as we would predict, and then on that other side of the bracket, I'm guessing that we'll have a ZVT between Taco Cake and the Beaver, but we got to wait for the matches to play out before we know for sure. So,
wonder how Taco Cake versus Ramen would shake out.
Yeah, that could be our best of 5, depending on how it works out. It's a question of can Beaver overpower him? Because if Beaver wins the whole thing and makes it to the qualification, then we have TVT, and who knows who takes the TVT? Come on,
right? And Ramen doesn't have much experience in that, I don't think.
Well, they actually did play against each other, Beaver and Ramen. So
well, never mind what I'm saying. Then.
Yeah, they played I don't know how many games, probably not that many, but still. Anyway, it's cool. We're getting lost in the sauce at the end. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast, and yeah, stay tuned for more. We're going to continue uploading daily. I think at this point we'll probably go back to our regularly scheduled programming, but it's a couple of days recorded in advance, so who knows? Maybe we've gotten a lot more banger games to cast from this gauntlet, and we'll just keep the wagon train rolling. But thanks, Neblime, again for chipping in and giving us your time for more casts, and we'll see you guys later. GG.